Hello, hello.
El doctor Sande, no joda.
Bien.
No se diga más.
Recortadito. Cualquiera diría que le hiciste todo para este evento.
No, tuve una grabación el viernes y tuve que quitarme toda vaina.
Ah, de León.
León otra vez jodiendo.
Solo hay un león.
Solo hay un león. Bueno, ahí
Sí, sí,
estamos,
sí.
cayéndonos a golpes con esa gente para ver si logramos cositas interesantes. Porque,
Está bueno, está bueno. No te quejes, brother. Está todo el mundo. Hoy recibí 2 llamadas de gente buscando trabajo.
sí, uf,
Un tipo que yo no había oído de él hace un año, hace 2 años. De la nada me llama. Yo sabía, antes de coger el teléfono, yo sabía para qué era.
qué hola. Ahí no hay
Está
otro
fuerte,
que diga.
brother. Está fuerte, ven.
¿Cuánta gente a RSVP?
33.
Mierda.
Vamos a ver de ahí cuántos se aparecen. Porque...
¿Cuántos aparecen? Me aparecen 5. Tú vas a ver.
Dame un segundo, espérate.
Dale, vamos a darle.
Hey,
How do I get into that meeting?
I sent you an email with the code.
Oh, shucks. I don't have my password for my email.
Hold on. Give me 1 second, chat. Edgar, give me 1 minute.
Sure.
Can you text it?
Hold on. I got it here. This is Ring Central, okay?
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
All right, so, um, ¿qué te iba a decir? Sí, no, está fuerte, man, está fuerte.
Sí, no.
Nada,
Mucha
está ready,
gente.
¿no?
Y con esa votación de Telemundo que hubo,
Brother, ¿y qué me dices de las dos anteriores de Univision? 50
ajá,
en uno y 80 en otro.
¿dónde va esa gente?
Está cabrón, mano, está cabrón. ¿Y los de Telemundo cuántos fueron? Yo ni me acuerdo cuántos fueron.
No sé, pero fueron unos cuantos. Fueron unos cuantos.
O sea,
Yo tengo gente ahí, pero sobrevivieron a la debacle. Pero sin embargo, ya tú estás, coño, con casi que con un pie dentro y otro afuera, porque
eso es temporero, papá. Toda esa gente se va. Toda esa gente. Esos canales se van a convertir digital. Live television va a morir.
ajá,
Esos noticieros en live, eso se acabó. Nada, estamos hablando de muchas cosas. Yo voy a hablar de eso mañana, por la
ujú,
mañana. Una cosa que lo que yo quiero hacer con ustedes es cross-training. Yo creo que
¿cómo es?
todo el mundo de radio aprenda
¿Qué ves?
video,
Sí,
aprenda podcast, más que nada.
eh,
Y la gente de video, no, o sea, no estoy diciendo televisión, estoy diciendo video.
ujú,
La gente de radio aprenda video, no televisión, porque la televisión también está muerta. Y que la gente de televisión y video aprenda audio, no radio, audio. Porque, o sea, número uno, los beneficia a todos ustedes porque pueden dar más clases, entonces tienen más horas.
sí,
Nos beneficia a nosotros porque entonces no tenemos que tener tanto problema con clases que nada más me puede dar este profesor y este otro profesor. Y tercero, los beneficia a ustedes doblemente porque quizás aprenden una destreza que la pueden utilizar entonces ahora
utilízala afuera, claro,
fuera.
claro, nunca.
So,
Conocimiento
dale.
nunca está de más.
Exactamente, bro. Exactamente.
Es la cosa.
Ok, so, tienes un minuto, está todo ready, ¿no? Tienes
Sí, estoy
todo.
listo.
Dale. Yo voy a hacer
Tu host,
el bouncer, pretty much.
el bouncer.
Está entrando la gente por la puerta y sacando los que no se portan
Vamos a
bien.
ver si lo puedo sacar en una hora rapidito, porque no, para no tenerte mucho tiempo ahí.
No, tranquilo, bro, es lo que te tome. Bueno, voy a empezar a, a dejar a la gente entrar.
Ok.
Es un listón, por ahí voy.
Okay, guys, welcome and thank you very much for being here. Who we have today? Let me check out. Okay, Linda, Eric, Linda, Sean. How are you, Linda, by the way?
See you.
Mr. Floyd, how are you? Sean, okay, let's, Carlos, do you want me to wait a little bit longer for some other people to,
Yeah, let's give him a couple of minutes.
okay,
Give him like 5 minutes, 5, 6
right.
minutes.
Perfecto.
All right.
Let me just, in the meantime, put up this, which is what we're going to be talking about today, because for those of you who weren't here on the first one, that one had to do with techniques about VO. This one will be solely driven to what you guys need to learn about, and that is how much you guys are worth on this business. And specifically, one of the things that I kind of find, you know, a lot disconcerting for everybody here is, once I graduate from school, where am I gonna go? Who am I gonna talk to? I'm not gonna give you names, but I'm gonna give you ideas of what to do, the way we market ourselves. And this also has to do not only with the VO side, but also as an editor, as a director, as a, you know, several positions that we have inside the industry that may be needing for the things that I'm about to tell you guys, and that will have to do a lot with that, with how do I make myself known out there. So let's just wait for some more people to come in, and we can be on our way and start discussing a little bit about this. In the meantime, let me just kind of, you know, get to know my small audience that I have here, but I love it because when it's a small audience, I can work with you guys even better. Okay, Eric, what brings you here?
Well, what brings me here is I have been dealing with a lot. Like in the past a little bit, I was missing a little bit of schoolwork. I'm in boot camp now, and I kind of missed a lot. And I'm figuring like, I mean, the webinar would be able to help me with a lot of information on how I can better myself, my speaking voice, basically trying to catch up on some of the things that I missed and that I can't get off of YouTube. It's better when it's direct.
You're going to find a lot of stuff in YouTube about this, but what you won't be finding there is how to do it, basically. There's a lot of people talking about this. There's a lot of people, you know, telling stuff about this, but sometimes it's not precisely that way things are done in the business. So we've got to be careful, because there's a lot of people, you know, in the internet talking and trying to make themselves look like, you know, experts in the area. Not that I'm an expert, but I've been around, so I can vouch for that and tell you guys that what I've known through the years has been quite. There's been a lot of things, you know, that I have to go through during my career. And that, I think, is something that I have to give you guys so you can stop making the mistakes that I did. And that took me a while to kind of, you know, conform a career in this business. It's a very competitive business in any area that you guys are looking to work in. It doesn't only relate to VO business, which is my area of expertise. But in a way, everybody here will have, you know, a lot of competition out there. So we have to excel. And with that, knowing the worth, knowing how to do, knowing what to do is one of the things that I think is most important for you guys to know. You will develop your own skills doing this. You will develop your own template for doing these kind of things, if I may say so. But the thing is, we got to know how much we're worth. And that would be a question I could, you know, give anybody here. Once you're out there, how much are you worth? Anybody can give me, you know, an idea of how much you think you guys are worth once you get out there?
I'm priceless.
You're priceless. That's a good thing. Yeah, I love that. You're priceless. The thing is, the market won't think that. and the market will fix a price for you, and in a way it will kind of tone you down a bit, because sometimes we think we are worth millions, but reality calls for something completely different. So we have to learn about that. I'm going to show you a little bit about rates. I'm going to show you how we do this in the business and how we are able to market ourselves as we move along. But the first thing that I want to tell you guys is the things that I'm going to talk about here require a specific set of skills that you guys have to hone through time. You will be honing it as long as you're in school and afterwards, but you need to be certain that the things that you know how to do are well done in order for you to be competitive. That's why we are so strict in those areas when we are giving classes here in the school, because sometimes people think, no, this is just, I'm just going to, study this and that's it. I'm going to have the tools to be able to work. Yeah, you will have the tools to be able to work. But there is something that I always talk about in my classes, which I call the Peter Principle. The Peter Principle has to do with your ability to reach your level of incompetence. Everyone here, including me, has a level of incompetence. So it is for you to know exactly how good you are at something. And from that point on, everything you do is going to be wrong. Or at least you're not going to be up to par, because it's out of your set of skills. That's a Peter Principle. It means that if I am going to be doing, for example, let me picture this for you easier. I'm a VO, I'm a commercial VO. I've been doing it for more than 3 decades now. And one of the things that I do know about me is that when it comes to voice acting, I'm not that good. So I have to, stay away from those kind of jobs because I'm not that good at it. I have another set of skills. So that's my Peter Principle there. It's telling me I'm not able to do that. Not that I cannot do it, because if I strive to do that, yeah, of course, I'll be able to. But that will require, doing extra preparation for this. I'm going to have to, take acting courses and stuff like that to be able to move on to that kind of area, so I can excel in that area. But that's another thing, and we'll discuss it maybe in a different situation, not in this workshop precisely. So let me see, Selena, how about you? What brings you here? I can't hear you. You're muted.
All right. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Sorry about that. I was trying to unmute myself. Computer is a little. All right. Well, honestly, I didn't really know much about voice acting until I started going to the school, and little by little, as I was starting to hear about it, I realized voice acting in general, it helps you with a lot of things more so than just that field, because I feel like you could use it outside in the world, and because if you can't see somebody's facial expression, you can hear what emotion they're trying to portray by just inflection on their voice or how they're saying things and all of that stuff. But I also, once I figured out that there's actually a whole, big market and career for voice acting in general, and like different types of voice acting, that's what really intrigued me. So aside from what I want to do in video, radio, and just like audio, I would honestly really like to try voice acting, because it's something that I never really learned about or even knew much about. Besides, okay, I know somebody records their voice when there's cartoons playing, but I never really thought about it that far into it.
And believe me, you told me this, it's a very big market out there. Yes, it is. It's humongous. And there are a lot of people doing it. Yes, there are a lot of people. I don't know how many, but there are a lot of people doing this, for better or for worse. I don't know. Some people book gigs, some people just don't. It depends. And that's one of the things, auditioning is not an easy thing to do, because it requires for you to understand a lot of stuff that creatives and casting directors and a bunch of people, clients and all that stuff are looking for. You have to have certain characteristics of your voice, and you have to be able to translate what they say to you, what they ask from you. And maybe I'll show you guys some examples so you see how complicated that can sometimes be, because it's you trying to be someone that is a kind of a translator of an idea, a subjective idea someone has in their head. And you have to be able to deliver precisely what they're looking for. That's how you win auditions, and that's how you make money in this market. But let's go to the basics and let's start looking at this. Okay, marketing. As I say, we have to pay ourselves first at all times. We have to, what this means is that we always have to be taken into consideration that we have to do the best to be able to get the money we're looking for in terms of the jobs we are able to book. Marketing needs to be one of the first things you do, not the last. And sometimes people leave that for last, and that's the big mistake they make. Why? Because we need to network. And sometimes people say, okay, but how do I network? I don't know anybody out there. I don't know people. I've never been in the business. I've never been related to the business, so I don't know any people. That is something that you can start doing via LinkedIn. You can do it. There's a lot of, possibilities for you to start, getting to know people. But one of the things that I would tell you guys is try to first understand what LinkedIn does, because I think LinkedIn is a very powerful tool as long as you know how to use it. Because I've seen people, for example, that contact someone that they're interested in and ask them for a job right there. That's not the way to go. You have to establish first a relationship, and then after that relationship, you can start, moving yourself around so you can get where you want to go with this particular person. That's one thing. But in a way, we need to do a lot of stuff to be able to market ourselves successfully and get known out there. And I'll tell you guys how we're going to do that. The daily schedule that you have should look something like this. First, you have to record. Then you have to market. And then is when you do everything else. So you can see that marketing has a very important place in the things, in the activities you have to do on a daily basis once you get to start on this business. I will walk you guys through different things that we have right now and that make your entry into this business a little bit more easier than the one that I had when I began. Because back in the day when I began, 30 years ago, it wasn't the same thing. You had to audition. You had to have a good demo reel, which we'll talk as well about. You had to have, a lot of possibilities to be able to get into those commercials, into those auditions. But now it's even easier because of the internet and the possibilities of entering what we call voiceover markets that are around the globe. So now it's not just a thing about working. If you guys are in Chicago, where's my audience located at? Because I'm not sure. Selena, where are you?
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Sorry about that. I'm located in Cleveland. Sorry, I forgot to edit my name there.
You're in Cleveland. Jim is in Columbus. Eric, where are you?
I'm in Akron, Ohio, by way of the Cleveland campus as well.
All right. So we had a Cleveland audience today. That's really good because I didn't have you guys on the first workshop that we had. So good to know that. So guys, for example, how do we focus our marketing efforts? Because as you can see here, we have a lot of different things that we can do inside the VO business, and a lot of them. You can go arts and entertainment. You can go and do biographies and memoirs. You can work business. You can work classics. You can work comedy, drama, fiction, health, history, kids, language, mysteries, nonfiction. There's a lot of stuff that you can do. And this requires a specific set of skills every time that you're going to work with one of these. Because it's not the same to do a mystery and thriller thing than to do, for example, comedy. These two are way apart. So it requires a different voice, if I could put it in a simple way. So every time that we start doing this,
You're muted. We can't hear you. I don't know why.
I'm muted? No.
Maybe it's Ring Central ringing, like muting, because they had muted me earlier. I don't know.
Carlos, can you hear me?
All right. I can
Yeah.
hear you now.
Okay, okay.
Yes, Ed, we can hear you for sure, sir.
Okay,
That's
perfect.
regards to
Thank
you,
you
sir.
very much, guys. All right, so remember this. This is going to be something that's going to define who you are, what you're able to do, where you're good at. Maybe you're good at business. You can do, for example, documentaries. You can do narrations. You can do IVRs. You know, you guys know what an IVR is? Intelligent voice response? No idea?
Yes.
Who's, Jonathan, what's an IVR?
Morning, Edgar.
Morning. Well, morning, no, good afternoon.
Well, morning, afternoon, good evening, my fellow professor. How are you today?
Oh my God, it's Jonathan. Jesus Christ.
Hello, everybody. What's good? I'm from Miami. You said IVR?
Yep.
Ain't that like the like Siri?
Kind of. IVR is when you call the bank and someone says, "Welcome to Bank of America. If you want something, press 1, press 2." That's an IVR.
Okay.
And an IVR is by itself a business. Doing IVRs is something that I do, by the way. Can you imagine the scope or the size of this? Because every company in the US may need an IVR. You know how much an IVR could cost and could give you in terms of a year's contract? Renewable, by the way, because the more they use it, they have to pay you again. Maybe it could go between $1,000 and $1,500. Just one. Imagine yourself marketing something towards that goal and targeting companies and companies and companies. That adds up. And every time a year goes by, you have to renegotiate. And again, and by the way, you don't have to do anything else because you don't have to re-record. So it's just, you're going to receive a payment after that. So sounds interesting, if you ask me. Okay, so one of the things that people mostly don't understand is, what am I selling? And that would be the main question here. What am I selling? I'm selling the voice.
Edgar,
Yep. Chuck.
can you hear me?
Yep, perfectly.
Yeah, hi. How is an IBR different from call waiting?
It's more or less the same thing. As long as a computer is handling the call, it's more or less the same thing. We can call it that the same way.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So, okay, guys, what are you guys selling? If Chuck is a VO, for example, Chuck, let me ask you now that I have you here. If Chuck is selling himself in the market, what are you selling as a VO?
I'm selling, you mean the product?
The product, yeah. What are you selling?
I'm selling insurance.
You're selling, no, but I mean, as a voiceover.
Oh, I see. Okay.
If you went to the business, what are you gonna sell to someone for you to get paid?
I'm a voice talent.
You're a voice talent. What does a voice talent
Yes.
sell? Because it's not the voice, let me tell you. You're not selling your voice. Your voice, it's like you're a guitarist and you get hired to play at a wedding. The guitar is implied. So the same thing happens here. The voice is implied. You're not selling the voice. You're selling something else.
Aren't you selling yourself?
Nope. No. What
The emotion that you get out of it, or the audience?
Not precisely. It's something that has to do with rights of usage. Every time that I work for someone, that I do a commercial for someone, for some client, what I'm selling is the rights that I'm giving them to use my voice in said commercial. That's what you're selling. So when you give yourself, or when you give away rights of usage, that means that you become, at times, not every time, I'll explain that later, that means that you become at times exclusive talent for that particular brand. Let's say I'm doing McDonald's, I cannot do Burger King, I cannot do Wendy's, I cannot do anything related to fast food or the fast food industry, okay? Because I'm exclusive for McDonald's. In with that said, when we do that and when we give away exclusive rights, not give away, that's not the correct word. When we allow the use of our likeness, image in this case, or voice, we are giving away those rights of usage and exclusive rights of usage as well. So, meaning that if I cannot work for Burger King, Wendy's or whatever, you have to pay me the jobs that I won't be able to book with these guys. Okay, so that's what you're really selling here. Exclusive rights of usage. Sometimes, as I said, they will ask for exclusive rights. Sometimes they won't. But normally when you work for someone, the moment that that commercial airs, you are bound to a contract, and you cannot, and I mean you cannot do anything that's considered competition for that particular product. You could get in trouble. And I mean real trouble, because you could get sued. As simple as that. So in a way, what you sell is, okay, you sell your expertise, you sell your talent, you sell your voice, yes, but what you really are selling here is the rights of usage of that voice in the market, all right? So by focusing your voice over marketing on one niche to start, you'll avoid feeling overwhelmed with too broad of a service like voiceover. Remember what I just showed you about these particular things? If you try to go the whole 9 yards here, you're going to have some problems because you're not going to get good at anything. You need to get good at a niche, and particularly a niche, so you won't have that particular problem. All right?
Edgar,
yeah.
are you gonna send us that the
PowerPoint?
Yeah, that PowerPoint.
Yeah, sure. I can send it over. I can give it to you guys. I'll give you guys a Dropbox link so you can download it, and you can take a look at it later on.
I'm gonna have fun with that.
Yeah, because this PowerPoint, by the way, for those who weren't here on the first workshop, has the other part of the workshop that has to do with the techniques to be a VO. Okay, so it will be interesting for you guys to have as well. So, as I'm saying here, this allows you to crush it in one voiceover niche. I'm not telling you guys just to stick to one. No, that's not the thing. It's about being able to develop 1, 2, 3, 4 niches that you feel very comfortable working with and that you're really good at. But you have to, start experimenting and see and checking how things work for you in certain niches. You will be good at some, you will not be good at some others. All right? It's that simple. Happens to me, happens to everybody. We cannot be able to do the whole thing because it's a very big market, right, guys? You'll have the exact client in mind for your specific niche, and that's what you're going to target, all right? But that's one way. I'm going to show you another one, so don't worry about that. In fact, some of the most successful voiceover actors have narrowed their service offering down to 1 or 2 specific niches. That's a way to go. I would advise, a little bit more if you have the skills. For example, you can do commercial VO, but if you are able to do voices, you could explore the cartoon side, the animation side, dubbing sides. There's a lot of stuff. Oh, by the way, video games. You don't have a clue of the big industry for VOs that we have inside the video game industry. It's enormous. They're always looking for new voices for new games and stuff like that. So we need to be actors. We need to have different voices. We need to be able to understand the character they're looking for, because you have to give life to that particular character. And that is where your expertise will come in and make you different from the rest and get you selected for that particular job. And believe me, those jobs pay really well, by the way. Okay, we have voice over markets. What is this? And this is something that I want you guys to know about, because this could be the opportunity for you to start experimenting and getting to know what the market is about and how the market works, all right? We have different voiceover markets, which means that we have different websites that work as kind of a Google search engine, but only for VOs. And I'm going to go in detail with this so you guys understand a little bit more. We have several of them. We have Voice 1, 2, 3. We have Intervoices. Intervoices is a big brand that works specifically in Europe. Amsterdam, Berlin, Paris, and I don't remember the fourth city, but it's a big one over there. Because let me tell you something, guys, it's not just the US, it's the world. Why should we focus on a small market like the ones where we live at? The guys in Columbus are not going to focus only on Columbus. The guys in Akron are not going to focus only on Akron when they can have, the whole pie. We can open and go worldwide. English, everybody speaks English out there, so what's the problem? As a matter of fact, guys, in Spanish, which is my area of expertise, because of you, as you noticed, I do have a very strong accent in English. In Spanish, I've worked in countries such as Finland. I've worked in countries such as Italy. I've worked in countries, name it. Why? Because there will always be the need for that specific language in a specific country. So we don't have to, circumscribe only to where we're at. We can open up. Okay, we have Intervoices. We have voices.com, which is the one that I'm going to, focus on today. And we have also Voice Bunny. These are basically the four big ones that we have. There are even more, but I think these are the most important ones that we may have in the business. All right, so I'm not going to go there yet, but I'm going to focus on voices.com. What is voices.com and how can it help you guys understand a little bit more about the business? As I told you, this is a search engine that you will have, and you will have, by the way, a website inside voices.com, which will tell the public out there what you're able to do, where you're good at, what's your equipment, what can you do, how fast can you turn around something when we give you a project, those kind of things. But what's happening here is voices.com, or even Voice Bunny, Voice 123, or Intervoices, what they do is they align producers around the world and VOs around the world and match them with projects. And that is the best way, and this is the simplest way to get inside the business, to understand the business even more. Why? Let's go to voices.com and let's take a look at what they do. Let me just share this with you guys. This is my profile inside voices.com. Okay? So what you see here, we have a profile, we have demos, we have reviews. When you work with someone, they can give you reviews, and you have your stats to take a look at what's going on and how good you are getting at booking or not booking gigs. Okay, so you have your basic information, where you're at. I'm sorry, I messed it up. Let me go right here. Okay, where I'm at. Okay, perfect. Profile photo, beautiful. Okay, about. There's an overview of you. Okay, so you give them an idea of the things you've done. Okay, where you worked, and it doesn't matter. You see this one is a kind of a long one because I have a lot to say about myself. That's another thing, but it doesn't matter if you don't have that much experience, but you have to know how to sell yourself. You have to become a salesman of yourself to be able to bring this into attention. But people are going to pay more attention to what you're able to do with your voice rather than this. This is, additional information that you have there, but in a way, it'll help. Okay, service description. I have my personal studio with ISDN. I'm in capacity to respond as quickly as my client needs with expected quality audio needed. Anybody knows what ISDN is? No clue? Let me tell you guys what ISDN is, because it's a really cool technology that we've been having for maybe 25 years or so. It's kind of going out right now, but it's still in strong or heavy use in the industry. ISDN allows me now to record remotely. For example, I'm recording from Miami, and I have a client in Los Angeles. That client is receiving my signal broadcast quality in real time over there. Just to put this into perspective, the first time that ISDN was used in a very commercial way was when Frank Sinatra recorded his record Duets, where he invited, several artists, big names in the industry, to record, classics with him. One of those guys was Bono from U2. But the thing is that Bono was in Dublin, Ireland, and Sinatra was in New York City. And they recorded the song in real time. And that's what they did with ISDN was exactly what we have in the record today. So that's that's a capability of ISDN. So now this will allow you to be everywhere, worldwide. But now ISDN is a very costly technology because, for example, the hour of connection of ISDN would go for around $400 to $500 per hour. All right. The decoder is around $5,000. So this is a investment that you guys don't need to do because normally studios have them. So what you do is you book the studio to work with ISDN. The cost of that, that's the client's cost. It's not yours. All right. But in a way, there's a new technology coming now, and it's been around for maybe 5 years or so, called Source Connect. And Source Connect does the same thing ISDN does at a fraction of the cost. That is something we can have. As a matter of fact, I use it. And every VO in the industry now is using Source Connect because of the cost.
Call that Source Connect?
Source Connect, exactly.
Thank you.
Source Connect. And Source Connect is something that now allows you to have the same quality of sound going over the internet to a different studio located anywhere in the world. They will receive this in real time, and with a plus. They will receive the signal from your voice, from your microphone, and this signal will be also interpreted inside the audition. So they'll have the waveform already there. So they have the session already there as you go along in the recording. $500 per hour ISDN. Source Connect goes for around $30 a month, which is, if you ask me, a really good investment. All right. Everybody here, when you're going to work remote, is going to have Source Connect. It's an industry standard. Everybody asks for it. And if you don't, maybe, well, find someone who has it that will help you, do that. Okay. Okay. Let's move on here. Education, the education you may have. And then we come to this, the voice skills. Voice gender, of course, we say male or female. Voice age. What does this mean? This doesn't mean your age range. It means the voices that you're capable of doing. If you can do a child's voice, and this goes specifically for women, because women have a tendency to be very precise on doing child voices. So this is a niche you guys can work with. Teens, can you do a teen voice?
Mm-hmm.
A young adult between 18 to 35, a middle-aged guy or a senior guy? You tell me.
Sir, that sounds so grand.
What?
I say, Edgar, that sounds so grand.
Grand in what way?
An amazing way, Edgar, an amazing way.
All right, guy. Okay, so what I'm trying to tell you guys here is you have to explore what are you capable of. Can you do 2, 3 of these voices? One of these? Depends. Find out what you're capable of. But on the women's side, I would suggest you can do young adult. For example, Selena. Selena could go easily onto young adult, maybe teen, okay? And probably you could do a child's voice depending on your set of skills. That's something for you to start, looking into and experimenting with your voice and see what you can do and what you can come up with. If you can do something.
Be based a lot on your vocal range. Like if you have a high pitch, but yet you could also hit a low pitch, that's how you can pull off that senior's voice that's 55 or older just by adding a little bit of tremble.
Exactly.
And your voice down about here, and then, you can get all that range there.
Exactly. It's your range, and it's about that. We need to have range. And by range, I mean, and this Jonathan knows it really well because he's been working with me. I don't know for how long. It's been an excruciating time with him, the 8 months that he was with me. But he's an excellent student, by the way. He's a graduate from Miami. The thing is that the voice range would be something like this. I put it like this. You may have your normal tone of voice, your conversational tone of voice, the one you're going to use the most, by the way, because what's going on in the industry right now is we're not looking for those big boomy voices. They don't want that. As a matter of fact, when you say you're a VO, that may go against you because it's probably going to have the opposite reaction that you're looking for. They're going to say, you sound too announcery. We don't want that. We want the guy next door. That's how you have to sound at all times now. That's what the industry is looking for. The communication process that we had back then, back in the 80s, 90s, and 2000s has changed dramatically these last 20 years. And what we have now is a communication that was preceded by me being God, the voice of God, as they call a guy called Don LaFontaine, who was the guy that coined the phrase, in a world. Every time he did a movie trailer, okay, that is a VO. But what they're looking for is something completely different. They're looking for this. I'm just talking to you guys, and that's how they want us to sound. Not announcery. Stay away from announcery. You don't need that. Unless they are looking for a specific announcer. And that's something else, okay? So the voice range you're talking about is being able to have your conversational voice, okay? Maybe a high-pitched voice and a low tone voice, the rumble maybe, if you have it down here. And every other voice that you have in between those three different voices that you have. That's a voice range that you need to experiment on. What are you able to do with that? All right? Moving on. Accents that you're able to do. If you're able to do a Scottish accent, a British accent, anything that can be there, okay? The categories you are able to work in. And you see here animation, audiobooks, business, documentaries, educational, internet videos, video games, television, telephone, radio, podcasting, movie trailers. It's up to you to determine if you are good to do, for example, an audiobook. Are you good with narration? Are you good with acting? If not, move on. Don't use this one. Go to business, for example. Do a business narration for a documentary or a corporate video. You can do animation if you wanted to, stuff like that, you know, and it's going to, you know, make in a way, make you open up to different things that you may have as a professional that people out there will be interested in. What's going to happen with all these things that I just put here? A producer is looking for a male announcer that can do a young adult voice in Spanish, Latin American, because he needs an audiobook. I have all these things selected here. So the search engine will match and send me the audition. I will audition, okay? And let me show you guys, for example, a particular job here. Let's go to the hiring ones that we have. Okay, let's go to this one here, patient communication. If I reply to this job, this is they're looking for a middle-aged 35 to 54 guy. They're telling you the word count and how long it is, 56 minutes. It's almost an hour. So it's quite a big job, but the pay is not that good, okay, if you ask me. Because remember, what you see here in voices.com will be the bottom price that you may find. You will be able to quote for this, and you will be able to set your own price. But the problem is that you don't know what the rest of the competition is doing. And the problem that we have on these days is that people tend to go low and very low. Maybe they say $250 to $499. It wouldn't, you know, amaze me to find a quote under $250 just to win the gig, you know? And what that is generating is that the clients are getting used to this, and this is dropping the rates in the market. These were pretty big right now, back in the day, and they have gone down because a lot of people are dumping as we call it. They are dumping the prices, and this is making the market go down in terms of the rate of pay that we can find. This is more or less the average rate of pay, as you can see here, that you will find in voices.com. But it will give you an idea of how much this costs. We'll get into that in more detail later on. So if I reply to this job, I'm going to get this. Here's the quote. Let me say I want to quote $400 for this. Okay. This here, the platform fee, is what voices.com is going to make out of this gig. So the client is going to be paying $400 to you and $80 to voices.com. You post your audition here and you send it over with some information that you may have on templates that you say, well, I can deliver high quality finished files within 6 hours or less, whatever, you know, all the information that we need to have over there. And they listen to this. And if you're selected, you will be called, you will do the recording. Maybe you will be needing Source Connect to do this. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't, depends. And voices.com will act as liaison with the money. The money is in the hands of voices.com, and once the client is happy with what you delivered, they will release the funds in your account. That's the way it works. It's pretty simple, and there's no funny things, you know, going in between. It's a very serious Canadian website, which has been around for years. So,
question.
Yeah.
Can you use Adobe Audition?
Excuse me?
Can you use Audition in voices.com?
Yes, you can. You can use any type of audio editing software that you may need to have, or the one you want to work with, because that won't make any difference. What they're looking for is the quality of what you deliver in terms of sound quality, acting quality. That's all there is to it. The equipment that you have is your equipment. It's not about, you know, being able to have only the equipment these guys need. No. And by the way, Audition is a industry standard, so you won't have any issues with that as well. The biggest ones that we use in the industry are Adobe Audition, Apple Logic Pro, and Apple Logic Pro is designed for musicians more than to VO on the VO side, and Pro Tools, which is the biggest one, the one that's mostly used in studios. But it doesn't matter; they all do the same thing. So it doesn't. I just don't care what kind of software you have. It's just about what are you going to deliver. That's what I'm interested in. This works pretty fast. If I go to this one here, for example, you'll see this, 32 responses. This tells you that already you're competing against 32 VOs that already sent their auditions. I've seen and I've received stuff here. I'm sitting in front of my computer. My studio is, I don't know, 5 steps away from this. And I received the quote, okay? I read it, I understand it, okay? Our client is looking for a Spanish-speaking male or female to voice their business video for their website. They would like to have it recorded in a live session, so bilingual talent is preferred to communicate during session. The length, okay. This job is, okay, this doesn't matter, but, and here's the script, okay? Perfect. So by the moment I've read this and gone to my studio to record, when I open again this with the website, I already have maybe 5 to 12 responses already there. This goes really fast. And the faster you are able to deliver this, it will mean that you will be inside a list or a number of people that are going to be heard, because imagine 100, these guys are not going to listen to 100 auditions. They're just going to listen to the ones they have the time to listen to. So you got to move fast to be able to make it in the first slots and get heard by these people. So this will be one of the things that you need to work with here, speed. And that's why they ask you for turnaround times, because it's going to be something that maybe I can do a turnaround in maybe 5 minutes from receiving, recording, and delivering. It's that fast because you're working against time and you're working against a lot of people, and you want to be on the first places on those responses we have there. That's one way to go. Yeah.
Now, a lot of times if you're on here, now this is copy you have to write yourself, or a lot of times will you have a script?
You'll get the script. You'll always get the script. As you can see here, this is the script that they sent for you to. This one is in Spanish, but anyway,
Spanish.
But you'll always get the script. Sometimes what they will ask for is for your demo tape, but it's rarely done. You know, they basically want to listen to their own product in your voice. They want to see what you're able to do with their product. So it's pretty rare. I haven't received that much of auditions that they only ask for the demo tape, right? And that's why we, you know, every time tell you guys that we have to have a really good demo tape to be able to sell ourselves out there. Okay, this is one thing. The VO on the VO side. One thing about this is, well, this doesn't come cheap. You can be a member of voices.com for free. The problem is you won't be able to audition. Of course, that's their business. You will be able to audition only if the client specifically asks for you. And that's what we call a private invitation. If you're privately invited to the audition, then you will be able to audition. And if you win, you'll get the money, no problem. But normally you have to become a member of voices.com and every other, you know, website that I just showed you. You have to become a member and pay a annual fee. Voices.com, it's around $400 a year. But if you take a look at this, just 1 gig will pay for that investment. But the thing is, we need to be very aware that to take this step, we have to know what we're doing. We have to feel that we have the necessary skills not to waste our time. But the thing is, and I bring this up, is for you guys to be able to understand how this goes on, how they are asking. For example, let's take a look at this training video here. And this one's in Spanish. Let me go to patient communication again. The audience is health professional. The style, informative, knowledgeable. That's the voice you need to add to that recording. So you have to understand what informative and knowledgeable is. You have to sound like that. So this can help you understand in a way what these guys are looking for. But let me go further, because this gets more complicated as we move along. I just got this audition here for AT&T. I want to show it to you guys. Let me see if this one, okay, this one will work. Let me just share this with you. This one is right out of the oven. Just got here about, okay, this is AT&T radio. We'll likely cast 1 Spanish dominant and 1 English dominant talent unless we find someone who's fluent on both languages. Actor voices preferred. Avoid announcer voices. There you go. Avoid announcer voices. Tone, okay, here is the tricky part. Tone needs to be heartfelt, emotional, without being dramatic. This is someone who is proud of their city and isn't afraid to show it. How do you translate that into a voice?
By looking yourself in the mirror and repeating the.
Yeah, it could be. Everybody has their own way of doing stuff, but we have to understand. And this one is easy. This one is easy. Let me get some more.
With voice inflection, you can actually transmit a lot of that by the way you actually, pronounce your words. That'll give you a lot of that feeling and come across with what they're looking for. So, and like you say, you want to avoid announcery because that just sounds too stereotypic and canned. So you want to kind of keep it conversational, but at the process, finding out which words are the key words that you want to enunciate to get that feeling across to whoever's trying to hire you.
Okay, let's do something. Here's the script. How about you do it? Let's see, what do you understand about being heartfelt, knowledgeable about the city you live in, and all the stuff these guys are asking for. Let's just work on this paragraph here. How will you do that?
Oh, this looks fun. We got to talk like a New Yorker, like water and coffee.
They didn't ask for New Yorkers. They just asked for someone that sounds heartfelt. And let me just bring this back here. It says, without being dramatic, heartfelt, emotional, someone who is proud of their city. What is the voice that we're going to use? And I want, it says Columbus campus, but I want, I don't know what your name, man.
My name is Jimmy.
Jimmy, okay, Jimmy. Give it a try. Give me this.
That first paragraph?
Yep, only that.
New York is our home. We're talking balcony to balcony. It's nothing new. And where New York's strong has always been our way of life.
Okay. The thing is that you sound good, but you don't sound heartfelt.
Right.
Because heartfelt is calling for the voice to go down. Because it's your inner thoughts. It's New York is our home. We're talking balcony to balcony is nothing new. And where New York strong has always been our way of life. It's a conversation, but it's coming from the inside of you. You have to lower your tone of voice. That's why I think that voices.com, in a way, you guys checking out the directions that they have there, is going to make you understand the things you need to know about and the voices you need to adapt to each and every circumstance that will come along. And no one and no opportunity will be the same as the other one. They are all different. Let me just show you guys another one.
Sure, I was on Talk New Yorker, Prof. I was on Talk.
And that's a problem, Jonathan. You may have gone New Yorker, but maybe that's not what maybe that's not what they're looking for.
Yeah, I get it.
They're not
I get it. I was just trying to make you laugh, though, but I get it the way how you heartfelt. I got it.
Yeah. For example, this one here, Wells Fargo. Let me just share it with you guys real quick. Okay. Wells Fargo is looking for friendly, helpful, positive, and happy, ready to serve the client at all the time. Her philosophy is the customer is always right, always at their service. This is the direction for this commercial. Go figure what the hell they want. That is the difficulty of this, because the more you get good at understanding this, and the voice that you're going to use for that is going to get you closer to being able to be casted. Okay? They want an active, positive, energetic, enthusiastic. He is happy and excited because he is buying his new guitar, always in good mood. So this one kind of relates to the one Jimmy just did for the heartfelt one. You see?
Yeah.
If we don't understand what these guys are asking for, we're not going to make it. And the first thing that we need to do is understand the script, what the script is trying to sell, and the mood and intensity that we need to add as a VO actor or VO, if that would be the case, to be able to pull this off. And by the way, understand exactly what the guy who wrote this, who, by the way, is the one that's going to listen to this recording that you did, and how he feels about you understanding what he wants to sell there. That is the main difficulty of this particular job, and where a lot of people fail because they just don't get it. And by the way, guys, let me tell you, even so, and even with the experience that I have, if I do 100 auditions, I may book maybe 10, so it's 90 no's. But that does not have to discourage you at any time, because it is the way it is. Okay? Sometimes other people may have a better idea how to do this than you did, and then it will go the other way around. It depends. So you'll get a lot of no's, but that doesn't mean that you're not making it. It just means you weren't fit for the job. You weren't what these guys were looking for. But what you need to do and what you need to understand is what these guys are asking from this. All right? So let me move on with this. Okay, we covered voices.com real quick. Let me go back to my presentation. Okay, so we had all these voiceover marks. Now, the other conundrum, union versus non-union. Who here knows what union and non-union work is?
I do.
Jimmy.
Union means you're non-affiliated, so there's really not a set price and everything else that you do. With a union, you've got backing. You've also, you know, a certain price they have to pay you if you're a union worker to actually meet those requirements. You also pay dues for a union if you get wrongfully terminated, or if they're using your stuff, the union can back you on that, and things of that nature.
Exactly. And well said. And that is the benefit of being a union artist. There are around 160,000 affiliates to SAG-AFTRA. SAG used to be one, Screen Actors Guild, and these guys merged into the biggest union that we have around. And I don't remember what AFTRA means, American Film and whatever. I don't remember right now. But the thing is, there's always a question about
theater actors. Theater
actors.
That's what the T in there stands for, theater.
Theater and radio, and I don't know. There's a lot of stuff, you know, involved there, but you can look it up. It's there. And I'm going to take you to the website anyway. So, okay, we have to work union or non-union. That's the big question. Should I go union? Because check this out. If you go union, you're going to have more money, as Jimmy said, and you're going to have more benefits. You're going to have retirement plans. You're going to have, you know, dental. You're going to have lots of things, which is really good. But working non-union means you're going to earn less money, as Jimmy correctly said, but you're going to have more jobs, because these are the ones that are out there in more quantities. Union jobs don't come that often. As a matter of fact, becoming a union member is not that easy, because there are certain requirements you need to have in order to be considered or become SAG-AFTRA eligible, which is, for example, that you need to do a SAG-AFTRA job. And normally a SAG-AFTRA job would be something that normally goes outside your state, meaning that maybe it's going to be a tri-state thing that you're going to be doing, all right? But there is a problem. What happens, for example, if I'm non-union in this case, and I get called for a union job, am I able to do this?
Yes.
How come?
You can ask me that question.
Got you. Got you. Why? Yes, you can.
Yeah.
Yes, you can. There's an act called the Taft-Hartley Act that will allow us to become SAG-AFTRA eligible if the client is willing to do the Taft-Hartley on you, because they didn't find anyone in the union capable of doing that job. They did the auditions, they found no one, so now they go to the non-union side and see who they can find. If they find it there, then they'll Taft-Hartley this guy, they'll pay him union rates, and then they'll tell him, okay, you want to become a SAG-AFTRA member? Yes, I want to. No, I don't want to. That depends on you. That's your decision. But if you are willing to go union, this won't come cheap. $3,000 just to join. But in the end, it will give you access to better paying gigs, which union jobs, non-union jobs won't be able to. That is a question that a lot of professionals have. Do I belong or do I not belong to the union? Should I go or should I not go? It depends on what you're booking. I should suggest stay non-union until you feel the need to get those bigger jobs. Because with union, what I'm telling you guys here is that, for example, with union, you can work at a national level, which you cannot do, or it's very rare for this to be done as a non-union member, a non-union professional. With union, you can go national. And with national, numbers get big. Anybody here has an idea of how much would a national commercial, a 30-second national commercial on TV would pay?
A lot.
At least
A lot.
$100.
I'm going to tell you some numbers so you guys can have an idea. One commercial, 30-second commercial going national could go around $40,000 to $50,000.
That's just your pay?
Yep.
Oh, wow.
40 to 50,000, and I'm not done yet. Still more. 40 to $50,000. So imagine you do 5 union jobs, you're making $200,000 a year for just 5 commercials. It's big money, man. But to get here, you got to work hard because this is not easy. To get on a national level, it's not an easy task. It'll take years. As a matter of fact, to me, I do audition for these kind of things, but they don't come easy because now we have the difference between markets. I am based on the Miami, South Florida market, which is pretty different to the Chicago market, to the Columbus, Akron, or maybe LA or New York. These are completely different markets. In my case, as a Spanish-speaking VO, if I want to focus on the LA market, I have to speak Mexican, man, because otherwise it's not going to work. Because what we have over there is Mexicans. In Chicago, they don't talk the same way as they do in New York. So the market is different. The culture is different. So we have to adapt to those different cultures if we want to move along.
It's the dialect.
Excuse me?
The dialect.
The dialect, yeah. We have to be able to percolate in different areas of the market. And I'm going to explain a little bit more about that in a second. So it depends on what you want to do and what you don't want to do. And in this case in particular, normally we stay non-union until the opportunity comes. But remember, the moment you decide to go union, you cannot work anything non-union. Why? Because you're going to get kicked out of the union. You are forced to only work for union gigs that you may find out there. They're going to pay more, of course, but they're going to be less. So that is something to ponder and see, where do I want to go? That is a move for you guys to do. I don't know how long, how many days from now, but it will be something that will happen. And this can happen also on the editing side. It can happen on the directing side. It can happen in any part of the business, because it doesn't mean only SAG-AFTRA is not only for VOs or actors in this case. It goes for everybody that works in the industry. So you as an editor are going to be faced to go union or non-union at a certain point in your careers. Just so you know, all right? So this I'm going to leave for later, my home studio and what you need to have here, because I wanted to go on a different way right now with numbers that I was telling you about. A commercial, the one that I told you, $40,000 to $50,000 for a commercial, is one thing. But then we have royalties. And with royalties, what happens is that every media outlet that is broadcasting that specific commercial has to pay you as well. So you're going to be receiving around, well, I don't know, the moment that this commercial airs to the moment it's taken off air, you're going to be receiving checks on a weekly basis, $500, $1,500, $2,000. You don't know where they're coming from. And it's all the media outlets that are paying you for the usage of that voice. And I go back again to where I began. Usage, rights of usage. That's what you're selling. So as you can see, this is a very lucrative career to have. But as lucrative as it is not an easy one to be able to make it, because it requires a lot of preparation, it requires a lot of study, it requires a lot of skills to be able to do this. Not that you guys don't have it, you have to hone it as you go along. But by using, for example, these websites that I just told you about, voices.com, intervoices, whatever, you will be able to start understanding the basics of this, to start recording, to start auditioning, to start getting the feel of how the business goes. And by the way, to start and to getting to know the rates of a job in particular. Let me show you rates, because I told you guys that we were going to talk rates. Let's talk about rates. Remember, what I'm going to show you is the basic rates, the bottom rates in the business as voices.com has it. Let me share this with you. Okay, so we have, first of all, non-broadcast jobs. The non-broadcast jobs are going to be cheaper because there's no rights of usage. You can do as many as you want. You can do Burger King, McDonald's, or whatever. No problem, because there's no exclusive rights of usage for this because it's non-broadcast. So we have these differences. Depending on the finished minutes, I don't work this way, but this is the way they present it. But anyway, let's go on this direction. From 0 to 2 minutes, it should be around this budget. 45 plus minutes should go for a custom quote, and maybe 30 to 45 minutes, maybe $1,200 to $1,300, okay? Remember, bottom prices. But as you go along, you will find, and I've found here jobs in voices.com in the excess of $10,000. They do come. And these rates are, for me, kind of low, but anyway, it's a starting point for you guys to understand a little bit about how much this is worth right now. This is the market right now. This is the bottom, which says to me, okay, between 100 and 249, but maybe I'm worth 400. I'm going to quote 400. If they want to pay that, cool. If not, well, we'll see each other on a different day. I don't know. Let's go to broadcast jobs. We have local, we have regional, and we have national. And you're going to see the big difference, because remember, this is non-union. The big difference on the numbers I was just talking about to these that we're going to see here. Local, which means Chicago, all right? 13 weeks, that's a normal use for a commercial. 13 weeks around this. This is television, okay? Around this. A year would be around this, and perpetuity, which means they're going to use it as long as they want. But this normally doesn't require exclusive rights. Otherwise, it should pay a lot of money for that. But that's not going to happen. Regional, tri-state area, something like that, goes for around $1,000 to $1,200, 15 to 17, 25 to 5,000. National would go in perpetuity to 5,000 to almost $75,000, right?
Is that,
Radio, what?
is that a flat rate?
That is the bottom rate, if you ask me. That is the bottom rate, okay? You can go up or down depending. I wouldn't go down, okay? I wouldn't go down from these numbers, because that wouldn't be the best thing to do, because you're dumping the market again. On radio, you'll see the difference is really big. 500 here, 250 here. Why? Because radio is more enclosed in terms of geographical reach. The bigger my geographical reach with the commercial, the bigger the money. Okay? So it's not going to be the same if I'm going to go only in Miami as if I'm going to go all in Florida, or maybe I'm going to go Florida and Georgia. It's not going to be the same amount of money. The bigger it gets in terms of the scope or the reach of the commercial, the more money that will be paid for that particular job. All right. You can see here, local, regional, and national. Perpetuity would go for around $1,500, which is pretty different to what you see here in TV. And the most bizarre thing about this is when you go to internet, prices drop even more. But as you can see, this goes worldwide. This has been a thing with the advent of internet that happened way back when internet was in its beginnings, and it has never, kind of peaked, and it has stayed very low in terms of payment, if you ask me. That's why I normally focus on the big ones, not much on internet. But in a way, internet is also a big, very big market to work in, But you have to be aware that the payment here is going to be much less than what you normally have on radio, TV as a normal thing, all right? Any questions so far? Apparently not. So let me move on.
Yeah, I had a quick, just a quick
Okay,
question.
sure.
Now, when you speak as far as like minutes, how much it would be for like 1 to 2 minutes, is that just you speaking? Let's say you had like a voiceover job where you were having a debate with someone, and the commercial was probably like 3 minutes. Are you getting paid that for that whole commercial, or just what you were speaking on?
No, you're gonna get paid for the whole commercial. That's
Okay.
why they tell you it's gonna last 30 seconds, a minute. If you're gonna do a non-broadcast job, they say here from 0 to 2 minutes. I don't go this way. I go from finished minute. That's the way I charge.
Okay, see, I didn't see the word count, but I see it now. Sorry about that.
Yeah, the word count is for that. You know, what I do normally is when I get the script, I read it and I time it. 2 minutes, 30 seconds. It's 3 minutes. That's what I'm going to charge you. I'm not going to go from 0 to 2. I'm going to charge you for the whole minute that I'm working on. And when you get to extreme things like this one here, 45 plus minutes, you have to kind of give them a custom quote because it's going to be, you know, over the roof in terms of the amount of money that you're going to be charging these guys to do. And
so do they like pay you every time that commercial shows the same amount of money, or do
no,
Yeah.
it will be something like this: 13 weeks, 1 year, perpetuity, depending on the usage they're going to give to that commercial. They'll tell you beforehand, this is going to be airing for 13 weeks. So this is what we got. This is our budget. Are you willing to go here? Do you want to go higher? Because you know, if you go higher, there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be in this range and they're going to be lower, and the client is going to go lower. He's going to look for, the cheapest thing. So that's why sometimes we are going to see, and we are not able to see how much the others are quoting because this is private. So maybe there's people under $500 here, and maybe the client will go with them. That's the issue. But anyway, anybody does what they want to do. As a matter of fact, there is a website that you can find out there. It's called Fiverr, and you will find voiceovers doing jobs for $5.
Yep.
Don't ask me. Those guys are crazy, and they are dumping the market. And they are really good names in there. What they're looking for is volume in terms of doing a lot of stuff. But for $5, I wouldn't go there. But there's a lot of people doing it, all right? So that's another place to check out and see what they have. Specifically, the demos. You can check out the demos there, as you can check the demos here and be able to understand what these guys do and how they do it, how they sound. And that's the sound you guys need to have as well. And talking about demos, let me go to demos, because normally you guys are required to do 1 video and 1 audio demo. These are the demos I have for this website only. A lot of them. Why? Because I'm trying to show here different things, documentaries.
Your versatility.
Your versatility, exactly. Radio, educational, business, whatever. See, you are showing different sides of the things you are able to do. So this is going to make things get even bigger. Now, let me go to the other side. And with the thing I began talking about when we began this workshop. What do I do when I get out of here? And normally the way to go is through an agent or a manager. You want to get an audition? There's 2 ways to get them. Via voices.com or voices123 or intervoices or whatever, or you can get them through a rep. You're not going to get them by yourself. It's not going to happen. Why? Because the channels are like that. They have been built that way. We have a rep. The agency, the client, or whoever it is will contact the rep. The rep has several voiceovers in a roster, and the voiceovers that kind of relate to the brand or to the characteristics of the voice they are looking for are going to be called to an audition. That's what you just saw when I showed you the Wells Fargo thing and the other thing that I just showed you guys. It's about that, having representation. And what did I do in my case in particular? I do have here in Miami 3 agencies that represent me, okay? One for on-camera work, one for VO work, and another one also for on-camera work. Okay, that's the way it goes. And you will ask me, okay, what happens? Because let me tell you something, they are working on the same business and they are working on the same city. So it usually happens that I'm gonna get the audition from one agent and another agent at the same time. What should I do? I'm gonna go and I tell them this every time they kind of put me on board their roster. I tell them, okay, first come, first served. The first email I get from an agent, that's the one I'm gonna do. If you arrive in second place, tough luck. You gotta move faster. That's the way I go. Okay, but that's Miami. That's a Miami market, that's a South Florida market. I'm not gonna stay here because it's a very big country and there's a lot of stuff going on. So what did I do? I expanded myself. So I do have those 3 agents here in Miami. I have an agent in New York. I have an agent in Chicago. I have an agent in Dallas. I have an agent in Denver. I have an agent in Las Vegas, and I have an agent in Los Angeles. This agent in Los Angeles is a manager. I'll talk about that later. What this means is that now I'm getting stuff from all over the country. Different stuff that's going on that I'm not going to get only in the Miami market. Jimmy.
How did you come across finding an agent and getting that into that point where you started with an agent?
Let me go there. You guys able to see the voices.com website yet? Still? Let's say, for example, Voiceover. You are in Columbus. Here's Fiverr.com. Don't go there. Okay. Cam, Talent Agency. Heyman, Talent Agency. Helen Wells Agency. Columbus Talent Agent. Let's go to the website. There you go. They represent voiceovers. Here are the voiceovers they represent.
Awesome.
You see? So what are you going to do with this? Because the thing is, how do I get in? How do I make them represent me? Because it's not just you're going to go there with a demo and that's it. No, you're going to have a really good demo for these guys to consider. And that goes on producing a very, very good demo. So by the time that you guys hone the skills, then is when you produce a demo and then you start submitting it for consideration on these different agents. And you can go and look around all across the country and you're going to find a lot of them. There's a lot of people involved in this, and you'll send them the demos and they'll get back to you telling you yes or no. Try again sometime later. And sometimes they say, try in the next 6 months. Why? Because they're telling you, you're not quite there yet. How about you hone your skills a little bit more and then try to resubmitting and let's see what happens. And by the time you get, an agent to have interest in you, that's when precisely you're going to have the possibility of being able to start getting, the auditions and start getting the possibilities of working with these big brands and the local clients as well. It's not only the big things, it's also the local clients. But with this, I'm working on 7 different cities and I'm checking out what's going on in different markets at the same time. So I'm not just circumscribing myself to where I'm based. No, I'm going further. And that's what I should suggest you guys do. An agent will be normally we don't find those that much for editors and directors in this case, but you'll come across those if you do an extensive search. But this is the way to go. You just look for them You kind of check them out, see what they do, what is their, their area of expertise, if they represent voiceovers, because some only represent models or actors in any case. So you have to be aware that we need to have, this tab here on any talent agent, so you can get the feel of that. Chicago, let's go Chicago. Let's go Columbus, let's go Akron. Callers audio, audio concepts. Let's see what audio concept does. All right, voiceover audio production. This is a studio, but studios sometimes represent voiceovers as well. All right, so in a way, going towards the agency side would be the best way to go. Managers is something completely different. You don't go to managers. Managers come to you. If you're making some kind of noise in the business, they'll, take a closer look and say, I want this guy, and they'll contact you. So that's why it's so hard to get a manager. But managers are the ones that work with the big brands. So instead of doing local things in your local markets, you'll be casting for Google, you'll be casting for McDonald's national level, you'll be casting everything national. So those are the big guns you have to aim for. But first, your first way to go is through an agent and then move on to a manager. Those are the ways to more or less try to market yourself. It's about being able, first of all, to hone the skills, understand the things that you need to do, sound really good, and when you feel that you kind of have the thing that you need to have, then you start trying to meet these people. All right? And that's how you start getting in. And that's how you start getting the auditions. And that's the best way to market yourselves. You have the two sides. The online side, which is the best way to go as a beginner. And then as you get better at your job, then you move on to the agent side. And then you start looking for those agents. And as you get them, you'll start seeing how auditions come in on a daily basis. So this gives you a lot of opportunities that will grow as you go. And by the way, let me tell you something. Voices.com will give you around, as a paying customer, not as someone that has not paid there, will give you around 5 to 6 auditions on a daily basis. So it gives you a lot of opportunities. It doesn't come cheap, and I don't advise you guys going that way until you feel that, okay, I'm ready to do this, all right? Don't go there. But once you feel like it, get in there, pay the price, and you'll see that just by booking one gig over the course of a year, you'll be able to at least recover the investment you did. So it's not that hard, all right? You guys have any questions on, because I kind of left out the studio part. You guys have any questions on that? Because I think I'm running out of time, and I may have Mr. Carlos trying to kill me because I almost went half an hour over the time that I had. So do you guys have any questions on in regards of the what you need to have on a personal studio?
I don't really have like any particular question, but I could take any information that's needed or maybe email you later, or just any tips in general helps anything, even from anybody here virtually, because I'm trying to actually do my own thing here at home, find a kind of little spot to kind of set my own thing up.
Where do you think you're going to set up your spot? Where's your recording booth going to be?
Right now I have like this really big closet, like it's really for storage space, but it's almost the same size of the studio that is actually at the campus, the private studios. So I was like, okay, well maybe it might be able to work, and it's very like private. It's one of the big ones that you kind of just store stuff in, but that's like the only private area I have. Otherwise I'd have to set it up in my
bedroom. It's kind of a storage space, so there's nothing there but walls.
Yeah.
You're going to have a lot of reflections there. I have a better place for you and for everybody else here, and it's cheaper because you don't have to do much with that. Do you have a walk-in closet?
No, I do not.
You do have a closet.
Yeah, I have that one. The one, my other closet, I don't even know if it's considered a closet because it's very small. But the biggest thing I have as far as like closest to a walk-in closet is like the one that more so is used for storage right now.
Okay. Because what happens with walk-in closets is they're filled with clothes, and clothes act as absorbents, sound absorbents. So this will allow you not to spend money on soundproofing or soundproofing the room, which you will have to do if you use that storage, for example.
Yeah, I did look that up, and I was thinking like, well, if I do this, I have to do this right to where, you know, I'm doing it the right way if I'm gonna go this route. But you know, I've been doing kind of like my own
Walk-in
research.
closet is the best way to. As a matter of fact, I record in a walk-in closet. Why should I have a recording booth when I have a walk-in closet that sounds beautiful?
I find my bathroom gives me the less echo and feedback. It's the most quiet, solid room in the house.
That's the most reflective part of the house, let me tell you, Jimmy.
That's wild.
That's the one I would stay away at all costs. Because I don't know why bathrooms reflect so much, but they do. And first of all, you have the mirror. There's nothing more reflective than glass. So that's something you have to, you know, work with. Stay away from a bathroom. Look for a closet. You don't have a closet. Do you have a car?
Yep.
Well, a car is a soundproof booth.
Oh yeah.
Just
I didn't really think about it that way, you know. Now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, oh yeah, it is. It is.
Just
you know.
just close the door. Find a spot where there's no traffic. You know, some secluded spot. Close the door, and there's no reflection, no sound, anything, because it's done like that. So a car is also a very good way to go if you don't have the walk-in closet, or you don't have the closet that may fit you inside. Because if you have a normal closet, you can face towards the clothes. You can put your mic in front of them, and the clothes will act as a sound absorbent material. So
That's cool. I didn't know that.
Reflections will be, you know, kind of tamed down, but you do have a problem. It's in the back of you, because reflections will come from the back. So you may need to do something with what you have here. Maybe purchase some soundproofing for that part, and it may help you. But closets will tame enormously the amount of reflections you have. And what's going to happen is that we need a dry sound, not something that sounds like you're in a cathedral. You know, that echo thing that normally has, that we normally hear when we are recording in a big room like this one. You will have reflections, all right? But soundproofing will help you do that. But if you have a walk-in closet or something similar, I would go that way, because the more close, the more stuff you have in there, the better. Why? Because remember something, sound waves go like this, okay? I have a wall behind me, I have a wall in front of me. The sound is gonna go, bounce here, go back, bounce there, come back, and it'll keep on doing this, all right? So what you do normally with soundproofing is, not that it's gonna absorb, it's gonna deflect. So it's gonna do this, and when it hits the soundproofing on the wall over there, it's gonna go this way. Then it's gonna go that way. Then here, there, over there. So reflection is reduced. That's what it does.
All right, hey, Mr. Garcia, if I may, because I know Mike had a question too. I just wanted to say thank you. I have to take off and get ready for work. I appreciate it. I got a lot. I'm gonna check a lot of these things out tonight, and good luck to everybody that came tonight.
Eric, thank you for being here, man. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you, Eric.
Okay, so guys, I think I'm gonna start wrapping it up. But anyway, what you need specifically in a studio is a good mic. Depending on the mic and interface, if you go with a USB mic, you won't need the interface. You know what an interface is?
Yeah.
Okay. If you go with a USB mic, you won't need the interface, and they're really very good USB mics, if you ask me. So I would, you know, stay away from the interface in the meantime. And as you evolve, you will know when to upgrade and to move forward in I've seen people spend a lot of money on stuff they don't really need because they don't have the necessary experience. I would go from basic things, and then you'll know exactly when to move forward, upgrade the stuff that you need to have as you move along. So it's a good computer. You already have Adobe Audition. You need a mic and you need a room. And the room is either a closet, a car, or a walk-in closet if that's the case. The rest, I would stay away from. All right?
All right. Thank you. I really appreciate it, and look forward to getting like this whole little PowerPoint here because I thought it was pretty
Yeah,
good.
I'm going to let me get real quick and drop it on the chat. Let me go real quick and get the link for this. So you guys
Man. Oh man, Prophet, that was awesome, man. That was awesome.
That was awesome, Jonathan. Long time no see, man.
Hi, Jonathan.
What's up, buddy? What's good, everybody?
What's good?
I hope everybody here. They're just saying is that VO is awesome as heck. Tell you what, if you know how to play with your voice, you have fun with it. You know what I mean? But Prophet, it's been a long time since I've seen you, man.
Where are you at, Jonathan?
I'm from the mean hood streets of Miami. No, I'm playing. I mean, nah, I'm all right. I'm from.
There you go, guys. That's the link to download the PowerPoint. You'll see in the first part techniques to work in the VO side, and then you'll see the ones that we covered today, and the part that has to do with the studio thing that we're discussing here in more detail, the equipment. There's some videos there I would like you guys to watch and check them out so it'll give you a little more ideas of what to do and how to build a studio with no cost. I'm telling you guys that you can do a studio with maybe $500 or less. You can have a pretty good studio with that amount of money in no time. And by the way, the biggest cost you're going to have is a computer, and you already have that. So it's just a mic and the soundproofing. That's it. So don't sweat it. You'll find a way. Okay.
All right. Thank you for your time. I really appreciate it. I enjoyed all of this actually.
All right.
I got more out of it than what I thought I would.
Sean was kind of quiet, and Dimitri as well. But anyway, I hope you guys liked it. And
you know, it could be a lot better, Prophet. You know, the way you dialect your voice went up and down. But hey, everything went great.
That's called voice. That's what he does for a living.
That did go great. I mean, I liked it. I mean, I learned a lot from it.
Thank you, Dimitri. I hope it works for you. Anyway, I'm going to drop also my email. Anything you guys want to ask, feel free to contact me, and I'll be there to help you out. No problem at all. I love doing that. So
thank you
to everybody that's here. Listen up. Do not be scared to give Edgar one of your video or audio demos. Be creative about it. Send him. He'll tell you straight up to your face, hey, that's good or that's bad.
Oh yeah.
Don't be nervous. The only thing is that either yes or no. Edgar's gonna tell you, bro, you gotta either lift your voice up or not.
I don't like to sugarcoat things, and if you guys I'm never gonna tell you guys you don't have what it takes, because that would be irresponsible from my side. But I will tell you guys, you're failing here, you're failing there, you need to do this, and that. All right? Those kind of things. So if you want to send over your demos, let me check them out, and I can give you more or less an idea of what I think about them and what they're lacking. And so you guys can start, looking for improvement, and then go and record a, professional demo.
Just what you did with me on that demo, you had me read that little bit of script, and you turned around and gave me critique right away where I could make it a little bit stronger. So.
Yeah, so it's about that. You guys need vocal coaching, because otherwise you won't be able to notice, and that's the hard part of this. If you don't have an outsider telling you guys what's good and what's bad, you're not going to know, because you're going to think it's good.
Right.
Yeah.
So every time, and my suggestion would be, by the moment you guys are ready to do a demo, Jay, I would suggest find a studio, but specifically find someone that is really able to direct talent. That is the difference. If you find someone that knows how to direct talent, you will have something else as a demo. And I've sent people over to professional studios, students of mine here in Miami, and they've come up with wonders. That I've listened to them afterwards, and I've asked them, is that you? because they really sound professional. So that would be my honest suggestion, because you do need a different set of eyes and ears to kind of tell you, hey, this is not working like this. Why don't you do this? Why don't you try to emphasize this instead of this? And that will give you the tools to understand a little bit more how the voice has to move and how the voice has to react. And remember one thing, and maybe you guys weren't here, Jonathan knows it by heart, but for you guys who weren't here, the basis of this is basically body language. The more movement that comes out from your body, the more reactions you're going to get from your voice. If you're standing still, nothing is going to happen. You're going to have a flat sounding voice. If you start moving as I'm doing right now, the voice will react because the voice follows the body. So if you move, the voice will react. If you have that in mind when you record, it doesn't matter how dumb or stupid you look moving around in a booth by yourself, you're going to get paid anyway. So what's the problem? All right. That's the way I look at it. And I have to do some stupid stuff sometimes, but it doesn't matter. I have a paycheck on the other side of the glass once I get out of that booth. So why should I care? But the more I move, the more reactions you're going to get from your voice, and the better sounding you're going to be, because you're going to be able to understand a little bit more the inflections you need to do and to apply to a specific script as the one we did on this particular workshop. Okay, guys? So with this in mind, I think I'm done. So thank you all for being here. It was a real pleasure. And anything else, guys? Yeah.
I tell you what, Prophet, you've been great in everything.
All right, Jonathan. Take care, man. Guys, signing off. It's been a pleasure. Thank you so much. And I'll see you soon. And remember, if you want to contact me, I'm there. All right?
All right.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Guys, call Edgar call Edgar every 3 hours. He's gonna hang up on you. I'm just joking. I'm joking. He won't do that. He won't do that.
All right.
Just slam him with a bunch of auditions.
All right, guys. Carlos, you there? We lost Carlos. So
Oh, Carlos here. Oh, I'll mess him up. I'll have fun with him too. I'll be like, hey, Carlos, how you doing, buddy?
you guys imagine me 8 months with this guy?
Hey, first off, listen. There's two things.
Wasn't
Either
easy.
laugh or boogie's gonna come out of your nose so much because you're laughing. That's it. Just tell you straight up. It's lots of fun.
This guy is so, and this is something interesting. Let me tell you something about Jonathan. He's so persistent.
Yeah.
That he wanted to impose me to a recording of a commercial. And here in Miami, I'm the voice for Florida Power and Light, a big company here. And I'm the voice for them. I've been the voice for around 4 or 5 years. And he wanted to come to a recording with me. But he behaves so erratic that sometimes I thought, I'm not going to take this guy to the studio. But the guy just stuck there until I ended up caving and got him into a studio. So he had a good time there checking out the recording. So I
was inside the studio and Edgar's there in the recording or whatever, and I'm here listening to, I think his agent or his friend that's next to me, because they have to do a script, and each script has 30 seconds or a minute to say this. And I'm here looking at everything. Oh, shoot, it's cool as heck. And I'm asking the questions. And Edgar's there. Edgar's looking at me, and he told me, hey, what are you doing asking the questions? Like, bro, I'm asking him a question because I'm here. I already seen you at school. Now I'm going to ask his question about all this. So the thing is that if you're persistent, if you drive, I'm not saying drive your professors crazy, though, but I'm just persistent and say, hey, look, bro, you're going to take me. All right?
It gets you places. All right? So, guys, with that said, farewell to you guys.
Okay. Hi, Profe.
Bye-bye.
Hi, Profe. Bye. I'll see you soon, Profe.
All right.